So like many of us here in the New York metropolitan area in the United States of America, we grew up on Kung Fu theater. Chances are we did Kung Fu, karate, taekwondo, whatever. And there's a lot of breathing exercises that go along with that. I myself were a Kung Fu Sifu and talked about breath work all the time. And I would hold positions saying, oh, feel the energy, feel the energy, feel the chi, feel the chi. But yet I didn't really know what I was talking about. But I knew there was a place called Shaolin Temple. And so I wanted to go there. I was about 23 years old, had a backpack and a plane ticket, so off to China I went. So I went to Hong Kong, went all around Southeast Asia, looking for a way to get to this place called Shaolin. And they all said it was all destroyed during the revolution, or that's only in the movies, or there's no such thing. But finally I met somebody who said, oh yeah, Shaolin Temple exists. And if you take the train to Guangzhou, you can change for another train. That's a 2-day train trip up to this other town called Zhengzhou. And if you change there, you'll find some type of transportation to get you to Shaolin, so go for it. So, okay, off I went. And when I got to Shaolin a week later, it really existed. There it was. It really was a temple. And there was amazing Kung Fu masters all over the place. And so naturally, I bowed on one knee, put my hands together and said, please accept me as a Shaolin disciple. And they ceremoniously said, sorry, no foreigners allowed. I said, what? I spent years trying to get here and they're just kicking me out? So off I went. By the time I got back to the main city, I had a bad attitude and said, I'm leaving this godforsaken place, I'm never coming back again. But I had gotten sick and checked into the Minorities Hotel in Zhengzhou and passed out. So several days later, I found out that there was a famous Qigong master teaching a class to 360 doctors from all over China. This system was called meaning the external energy diagnosis and cultivation system of the Sudden Enlightenment School of the Ermei Mountain. And so they nourished me back to health and then said, well, this training that we do of meditation and Qigong, energy work and breath work, is actually for treating diseases and reaching enlightenment. It's not for fighting like they do at Shaolin. Similar training, but different motivation. So they accepted me and I started training. Then every morning I would go to the park and I would mimic their motions and they would say, wow, your energy is really good. Oh, your energy is, and I was like, how do you know my energy is really good? But I guess they could tell. So then one day I was in the park and I was doing an exercise going from left to right. It was a form called Heaven and Earth. And as I went to the right, I felt a fire enter my hand, go up my arm. When it hit my chest, it exploded throughout my entire being. I literally caught on fire, started sweating, and I noticed it came from my left hand, so I looked to my left to see what was going on, and I saw my teacher standing about 20 yards away, going like that. And he gave me a sudden enlightenment transmission of energy. And that energy then opened up my awareness so that I too could see energy and feel energy and use it as a diagnostic and treatment tool. And so then after that, every day I would see my classmates in the park and I'd go, hey, energy's looking good, oh yeah. Because then once you see it as a real phenomena, you go, wow, energy is not breath. Energy is energy, but it's through breath work that you enhance your energy and you develop the ability to understand what the energy is. So through that process, then you can understand what the energy of your own bioelectric energy, as well as other people's bioenergy is, but then also that all things have energy, and then all planets have energy, and in fact, not only do they have energy, but they themselves are pure energy. We are pure energy beings. Though we sometimes think of matter being solid, actually matter is not solid. Matter is pure light and pure energy, and it's through breath work that you can discover that. And if you have the fortunate circumstance to come across a master who can reveal that in a sudden way, then that's great. But if not, we could always practice our breath work till we get to that point, either through self-discovery or at least purify our being enough to where we come karmically intact with a master who can give us that blessing. So that's how I entered the door of breath work. And then from there, I went with my teacher and some government officials, some Chinese government officials, went back to Shaolin Temple. And not only did I get into the temple this time, but I saw the abbot, De Chan Fasher, the supreme abbot of Shaolin Temple. He was an old man at the time, and he was ready to pass away. But before then, he was able to grab my hand, and he looked at me, and he told me my past, present, and future, and gave me another transmission of light called bodhicitta. And from that space, I couldn't even make a fist for 5, 6, 7 years, because just tears of compassion took all my New York dysfunction and melted into a puddle of tears on the floor, purifying my being. I rested in the Buddha's light, and I've been there ever since. Praise to the Supreme Abbot and the teachers of the way. May they all enjoy good health, long life, good students, and may these teachings pervade the universe, liberating all suffering, all sentient beings, from the highest wisdom of Samantabhadra, the primordial Buddha, down to a single blade of grass. Respect the environment, respect the animals and the beings that live in the environment, respect each other, live in love, live in peace. That's the way. Enjoy.